look at this fine play by Antoine. Walker takes it.
Recording, you think they're recording good?
And Antoine right into the stroke. And I'm sure you get a wiggle and a wiggle after something like that. Now Antoine Walker has easy lay in there. And here's Walker with a great spin job. Just here comes Antoine. Antoine spin. So Antoine is giving it his best, and it's his numbers. They get it to Antoine at half court. Antoine.
You are listening live to the Southside Heat radio show. Southside Heat streams every single Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. Central on www.q4.org, iTunes Radio, and the TuneIn app. Search Q4 Radio. I am Clement Townsend, along with the three-time All-Star, NCAA champion from the Wildcats, and the NBA champion from the Miami Heat, Antoine Walker, in the building. We got a big show as always, but Antoine, summertime in the Chi. I see you enjoying the nice weather. You got a nice hookup with the Chicago Cubs or something like that, out at Wrigley, rooting on your team, even though you're from the South Side.
How did you know I was at the Cubs game?
Because you go live on social media all the time. Oh, yeah. That was your account. Live, had some nice seats. Looked like you were, a little bit behind home plate, up a few rows. It looked like it was a good view, though.
Yeah, I was fifth row.
Fifth row.
Yeah,
Okay. The Cubs win that game. Cubs Diamondbacks.
Cubs won 2-1. I'm a Cubs fan, though.
I know you are. For the
fan.
people that don't know, one of your relatives, your uncle or something like that, played for him back in the day.
Oh yeah. That's what made me a Cubs fan. But I'm a baseball fan. I played baseball all the way to my sophomore year in high school. So I actually enjoy going to the games. I don't go for the beer and the hot dogs.
Okay.
I actually go to watch the game. John Lester was pitching yesterday, so
hey.
I wanted to see Lester in person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was a little upset. Baez, Chris Bryant, and Haywood did not play. So I was upset about that. They ended up playing late in the game, but
Okay.
I'm a Cubs fan.
And I saw Bryant back on the DL, but it's good to be a Cubs fan right now. Best record in the NL, sitting top of the Central Division, doing some things.
I'm usually a private guy. I can't believe
You were live.
I was live?
Live at Wrigley. I don't know how long you were live
Damn,
for.
I didn't know I went live. It had to be like 5. I probably was trying to take a picture and press live or something.
On accident?
I did something. It was probably like a pocket down type situation. I definitely wasn't trying to let the people know I was at the Cubs game. But I got a nice Cubs hookup, so, let me know one day.
I mean, I would like to take advantage because I've only been to Wrigley a handful of times. Being a Southside guy, I mostly go to Guaranteed Rate, U.S. Cellular.
And you met the guy, too, so you met my nice little hookup. You met
Okay.
at the Big 3 tournament. I'll take care of you, though.
Next time, bro.
Get you some nice seats.
Next time, let me know, bro. Like, you ain't even invite me to the game.
But it's different, though. I don't know if you're going to get 5th row. You might get 15th row.
That's a special hookup right there.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
I got you.
I don't want you coming to the expectations and you may take a friend or your wife and you think you finna sit in the 5th row.
Right.
I need to make sure you know where you possibly could be sitting at. But you're going to still be behind home plate, great seats. Like, I wasn't in the sun, I was in the shade.
Right.
Like, you're going to be properly taken care of.
And if it's the hookup, I'm not one to complain. Where I'm from, if somebody give you a hookup, you just take it and say thank you and be grateful. So I wouldn't do that at all.
That's true, but I ain't going to say all hookups.
Okay.
But okay, I mean, I'll roll with that.
All right, but you said you played baseball. See, we've been doing this show for a long time. We probably like on episode 49. I don't know if we've ever delved into that. You said you played it until your sophomore year. I don't know if we ever got into Antoine Walker, the baseball prospect.
That's my first love, man. My uncle played 18 years in Major League Baseball. So he played 11 in the majors and 7 in the minors.
Okay.
So I got a chance, and he had a little stint where he played with the Cubs for 2 years. So I got a chance to go to a ton of games. But no, I played baseball as my first love. I kind of outgrew baseball.
I'm quite sure you did.
When I got to 8th grade, I was 6'4". And my strike zone got bigger, so I started to strike out a little bit
What
more.
position were you playing?
I was playing shortstop.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I could pick it. And I had a rocket.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, I had a rocket.
Shortstop.
Yeah,
Boy, you
shortstop.
had quick reflexes with that thing.
Getting the hole, backhand, could pick it. I couldn't hit. I'm not going to lie. I couldn't hit, but I could pick it.
Defensive guy.
Yeah, I was a defensive guy. But I played to my sophomore year, man, till they started, I couldn't take practice in March no more. I don't know if people know about Chicago in March, trying to be on the baseball field when it's about 35 degrees. Then you may have a little snow out there, too.
This year, if you remember when the baseball season started, like the Cubs had to have some of their games postponed and
Right.
several other teams around the league because the weather was terrible.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know about that. So I was like, let me move around from this this baseball. I'm about 6'4", 6'5". Let me see if I can shoot a little hoop right now.
And let's move indoors.
Let me move in there. But no, I was good at Mount Carmel. They let me play both. I was actually in 8th grade. I was recruited. Simeon was one of the best baseball teams in that time.
Okay.
And they would get sending guys to pros left and right. So I actually thought about that. I was a big part of the Jackie Robinson thing. I don't know if you went in Chicago when the Jackie Robinson team, the Little League baseball team.
I know they won.
They won, but then they ended up taking it away.
Yeah. Right,
Remember?
right,
because
right.
they had a couple kids that supposed to have been too old.
Yeah.
But I played Jackie Robinson once. I played for that same team.
Okay.
The coach that was coaching the team, that's his son who played with me.
Oh, wow.
So Mr. Haley, his son was the coach that coached that team. I played for the father.
Okay.
So I was we never got out of we got out of the state.
Okay.
And then we lost because you're doing single elimination.
Right.
But we got out of state, but I never got as far as them. So I was at Grant Park, man. I did the whole media stroll through there, talking about playing for Jackie Robinson West and the celebration the city put on for him at Grant Park. I don't know. See, you wasn't here. They did a big.
I remember all that. Just like they went
celebrate.
down. They had a parade.
So
I remember all that.
Yeah, I was a big part of that, buddy.
Yeah, I remember all that. So did
I'll
you
just
ever?
show you some of them pictures.
Please do.
Yeah.
We need to delve into that more. So did you ever get like the Tim Tebow itch? Later on in life to try to switch. Like Tebow had a nice career. Well, I won't say nice career. Heisman in college at Florida. Won a playoff game with the Broncos. No. We know MJ. You never thought about what if?
I couldn't hit. I couldn't hit no more.
Tebow can't really hit either, though. To be honest, to tell you the truth.
It's a big difference. And he can hit. He hit better than me. I can't hit 90, 95, 100. I can't hit that.
Gotcha.
And then once I got this, this Tiger Woods golf swing, it kind of threw my baseball swing off. You know what I mean? So when I picked up golf and started swinging like Tiger, it kind of threw my baseball swing off. So I want to go back to that. No, I got to swing like Tiger. You know that, right? So you never played golf with me before.
Clement doesn't look like he believes.
But no, I got to swing. I swing. I got a nice swing like Tiger.
Alrighty then.
No.
We're gonna have to do our own location shoot.
Alrighty.
And put this to the test and see whether or not it's accurate.
Man, I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna show you. You're gonna laugh. I'm gonna show you my picture with Jackie Robinson West. You know what I mean? I'm a big baseball guy. Shortstop.
You brought up Mount Carmel, so I have Whitney Young 20-year reunion coming up this weekend.
Ooh.
Flashback, see what some of the folks are doing. Got a few events. I don't think I'm gonna go to all events because it's only a couple of folks that you really want to holler at and you see what they up to, that sort of thing.
Damn, we ain't never do nothing like that.
Are you sure? Y'all never had the 10, never had the 20?
Nah, man, we all boys too.
I thought every high school.
The reunions is to see the young ladies to see what they look like.
See, but but a lot of times they married though. So
but
what's
still,
the
I
point?
was like, man, you want to look at it and be like, man, she was bad in high school.
Right, what happened?
Right, what happened to her? You know what I mean?
What happened?
Now, are you working out for that? Are you doing anything special for that?
Out.
Are you getting a new suit? I mean, what is your preparation for your 20-year reunion?
None.
Are you serious?
I am who I am. I don't need to impress anybody.
got
I'm
this
confident
woman already.
I'm confident in who I am. I'm a family man. I have a woman. I'm doing what I do. Like I don't need to impress. Working out, bro. I just want to stay in shape for myself. Why do I need a special?
I'm just saying. I just know reunions. People work out, go get new clothes.
No.
Anything you ain't doing nothing special for them.
Because they had like a little mixer on a Friday, barbecue Saturday. Then it is a dressier, event Saturday night. But I'm not even doing a dressy event. Once I saw you on Friday and a Saturday at the barbecue, I don't need to see you for a third event, man. That's
okay. I'll just check. I mean, I ain't never had one of them, so I didn't know if it was a proper, preparation that goes along with that.
And maybe for the females, like you said, the guys want to see the female. Maybe for the ladies, they want to show what the dudes they used to holler at them missed out on.
You take your wife to this?
No, I asked her. She said she's not interested because she's not from here and she won't know any of those people. So she like, why do I want to go to an event where you hollering at people talking about old times and I'm just sitting there looking around like, who are these folks? Oh, okay, hey, how you doing? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She's like, well, why?
I get that.
Why would that be exciting?
That's understandable.
Yeah, why would I be interested in doing something like that? So
that's understandable. And the 20th anniversary.
20
That's
years.
nice.
20 years.
I ain't gonna lie though. I mean, I don't know if we ever will have one.
You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do
I
it.
probably wouldn't attend.
Yeah, even if they did have it, you wouldn't go.
I ain't going to no sausage party. That ain't my type of parties. I don't want to go to a party where all men attend. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Do you even keep in contact with anybody from your high school days?
That's a good question. A couple guys.
A couple guys?
Like 2 or 3 that I've bumped to. One of my guys, well, actually 2 of my guys are police officers, so I've seen them throughout the city. And my other teammate is a guy that he's actually trying to be in the media space a little bit, so he's got a little media thing going on, so I keep up with him a little bit. But like 3 or 4, that's about it though. It's tough, like 3 or 4.
I probably keep up with one guy from high school. One. There are a couple of female friends that my wife does know about, etc., etc. Hands down. It's probably like 2, and I might talk to them. I might talk to them like.
Woo, we know she listening. Woo.
I emphasize that. Did I emphasize that?
You put out a nice display.
Yeah, we know she listening. Yeah, we know you listening, wifey. Try me. Man, listen, you teaching me every day, man. That was a great lesson right there.
Put that in there real quick.
To be able to make sure that you take care of the wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You and Horace, man, teach me so much about making sure I lock in and lock in with the wife. So I appreciate that.
Might come in handy one day.
I appreciate that, though.
Yeah.
Man, I'm proud of you, though, man.
Hey, hands down, hands down. But I might talk to them every couple of months, 2 or 3 months, etc. But no, just like 3 people.
But no, I never did a 20-year reunion, man. I wish I could be a part of a 20-year reunion, but I probably wouldn't go. I was an all-boys school, man, private. Not saying I didn't have great memories. It was the best thing that ever could have happened to me. But I probably want to attend that party.
Let's move this over to the NBA because it is the Southside Heat where we talk about things on the hardwood. And before we dive into all the NBA topics, Kevin Love got an extension. Melo seems to be on his way to Houston. Vince Carter still in the league. I want to kick it off with a fun game like we do every single week. We got to name that teammate.
Ooh. Man, don't be giving me no Compton State and all that stuff, man. Guys that play 30 seconds with me. Don't do that to me.
Well,
I don't want no 10-day guys.
No, all 3 of these guys are well-known players. Now, you didn't necessarily play with them for many years, but you will say, okay, he was a legit. None of these guys carried your bags because a couple of them made all-star teams, and one of them was just real popular because of something that happened. All right, so let's start it off. Name that teammate. 1990 NBA draft.
1990?
Yep. 19th overall pick out of Jacksonville University. You play with them. You play with them in Boston.
Ooh, Jacksonville.
1990 NBA draft. First round pick, 19th overall, Jacksonville University. You play with him in Boston. I think you play with him your rookie season, as a matter of fact. So go back to that first year, if you can go back to that roster. Drawing a blank on that.
David Wesley?
No, not David Wesley. 11 years in the NBA.
David Wesley probably played 11.
Okay.
Not more.
11 years in the
He
NBA.
played 11 on the rookie year. Oh, my.
Rookie year. Boston Celtics. Yeah, we run that back one more time. Run that back one more time. And he was solid. His rookie year, he made the all-rookie team. His rookie year, but obviously that was before you came into the league. Jacksonville University. He was a dunk champion. Pump it up.
D. Brown.
D. Brown. Do you remember? Sometimes you don't even remember playing with guys. You remember playing with D?
I did play with D. I actually played for D, I think 2 years.
Right.
I think D played with me for 2 years.
Okay.
He went to Jacksonville, huh?
Jacksonville University.
Man, I had David Wesley. I had David Wesley on my team. I thought about Dana Barrows, but he was Boston College.
Was D a cool dude? Because, we think about D from the dunk contest.
He was a great dude.
Put his hands over his eyes.
He was a great dude. D was one of those guys. He was he was like a Jamal Crawford before Jamal Crawford.
Okay.
Combo guard, not really have a position, could score, was athletic. Just never really, Rick Pitino wanted to make him a point guard. He couldn't really play the point. Coach P wanted to press. So D Brown was a combo guard, scoring guard, but he was a good dude.
All right, the second guy named that teammate, this time 92 NBA draft, 6th overall pick, played college ball at NC State University. 92 draft.
92 draft. What? And he was on that rookie team?
No, you actually played with him in Atlanta.
Hold on.
Played with him in Atlanta.
92.
92 draft, played at NC State. He did make one All-Star team.
He made an All-Star team?
Made an All-Star team. I don't think he was balling. This might have been like the tail end of his career in Atlanta. But he had seasons where he was putting up 20 and 9, maybe like 3 years in a row, giving you 20. He ain't scored 20 in Atlanta.
Kevin Willis?
Not Kevin Willis. Not Kevin Willis.
Not Kevin Willis.
Not Kevin
man.
Willis.
Oh, let's see.
13 seasons in the NBA. So, yeah, this was the tail end. He put in work in Minnesota, put in some work in Phoenix. Mainly in Minnesota, though. He was
I think he was on my team in Atlanta at the rookies.
Man, it's a little tough today, huh?
Yeah, because these are guys. I'm looking at you going deep down the bench. They got like you going deep down the bench.
Atlanta.
Playing in Atlanta.
Who coming to your head when you played in Atlanta?
I played with Al Harrison, Josh Mills, Josh Childress, T. Lou.
Yep. Kevin Willis was on that team.
Kevin
You said
Willis.
him. Yep.
Jason Collier.
Nah.
Tech. I don't know. I couldn't even tell. I stopped after about 6, 7 guys.
Tom Gugliotta. Now, I know you remember the guy. Do you remember him being on that team in Atlanta? You got to jog his
He
memory.
didn't play no games with us, did he?
He
Yeah,
did.
He did play some games with us.
He played 27 games that season. Started 9 games, and when he played, he averaged 28 minutes a game. So when he played some heavy minutes.
Yeah, he played early in the season. He did play early in the season.
Right. Tom Gugliotta.
Yeah, how we was so bad, man. We were like 10 and 50 when I got traded. Something like that. 10 and 40 or something.
Yeah. That season, y'all went 13 to 69. 13.
Gugliotta.
That might have been the worst season that you had, because I know you talk about your rookie season when you won 15.
Yeah, it was like 10 and something. What were we?
Overall, he went 13 to 69.
Well, how many games they win before I left? It was like 8 and something.
Oh yeah, I don't have all that information. I just know you played 53. That's all I know.
Okay.
You know you played. But you remember Gugliotta in Minnesota? He
I
had some
remember.
buckets.
He was an all-star. He was good.
Yeah, he played well.
Mid-range jump shot. Can play. Can guard a little bit. Yeah, I remember Tom.
All right, 0 for 2. I gave you guys,
Man,
these recognizable guys.
Yeah, after the fact.
After the fact, I think you should get this guy, but I thought you should get the other ones too. Here we go. Name that teammate again. Play with him in Boston. Not your rookie season. This might have been towards the end of your first stint in Boston. 93 draft. 8th overall pick out of Hartford. Play with him in Boston.
Out of Hartford. Wow.
Now this guy, 2-time All-NBA. So think about some other, but I don't think he was at that level with you in Boston. But think about maybe some of the higher level players you played with.
What year did he play with me? You gotta give me a year. That's gotta be a clue.
Okay. Towards the end, like maybe 03, 04. Let me see. Let me confirm. And I will start doing that, but I think it's like 03, 04 when you play with him.
You ain't been no help because I didn't play the whole season 03, 04. So
okay, so I think 02, 03 then. Go that way.
Okay.
Let me see. Yeah, 02, 03 is when you play with him. 02, 03. 4-time All-Star. 2-time All-NBA, 13 seasons in the league.
And 02, 03?
02, 03.
And it wasn't me and Paul?
I'm looking at right, but I'm saying he wasn't all NBA then. You know what I mean? This was kind of on down the line. He played 52 games that year, averaged 18 minutes a game. 02, 03. So I think you only played with him that one season.
So I think who was on that team?
Yeah, but his best days were kind of behind him. 02, 03. Best days were behind him.
Sound like a Bimbo Coles or something like that?
No, because Bimbo was never all NBA, a 4-time All-Star.
I'm trying to think who was on the team.
02, 03. Man, I'm going to have to give him some layups next week. I don't want you to be upset, bro.
Man, let me see, man. Who was it?
You want to know who it is?
I know who it is.
Who is it? Don't tell me somebody on IG helping you out,
Nah.
though. It's somebody on IG helping you out, bro.
Nah.
I can see it on the
Rodney
screen.
Rogers?
No, I see it on the screen. Go ahead, man. They already gave you the answer on IG. IG help right there.
I know yet.
Now go up. Scroll all the way up. Scroll the other way. Scroll the other way.
Man, who is it?
Scroll the other way. They give you help. Vin Baker is who it is. Vin Baker.
He went to Harvard?
Hartford.
I thought you said Harvard.
No, you see, they got you help. Somebody on there had written Vin Baker. But yeah, Vin Baker. Do you remember playing with Vin? That's the thing. You do remember playing with Vin?
Oh, Vin was my man.
That's your guy.
Yeah, Vin had some alcohol problems.
Yeah, Mike Walker right there. Mike Walker gave you. See that Mike Walker, your man Mike Walker trying to hook you up. Shout out to Mike Walker. He knew what was going.
That's my uncle, man.
Appreciate you tuning in now, Mike Walker. Too bad Antoine.
That's my uncle.
I appreciate you, We appreciate tuning in on the IG, and he was dialed in. I knew somebody.
He probably could Google. I ain't
He
got my phone to
probably
Google.
and we don't want you to Google. We want to jog your memory.
I played with Vin. Vin was good. Vin was big time.
No doubt.
He just had a drinking problem when we played, when he got to us. He was going through some hard times. Yep. So he ended up not finishing the way he needed to.
Okay.
Vin used to hit that fifth before he took the floor.
What we talking about here, man? Like in the locker room, or we talking about before
Vin
we
Baker used to take him a squig in the locker before he hit the floor.
in the locker room?
Yeah, take him a squig.
Like he just go into the bathroom and have
hit that thing once or twice. Come on, let's go hoop. Yeah. You gonna lie?
I don't think you're lying.
Yeah,
We don't hear that often because the Vin that I know, balled out in like Milwaukee, played with Seattle.
I'm not here to bring the negative Vin. I love Vin.
You're not. You here to bring
Vin's
the
my
real.
man.
You here to bring the real.
Yeah.
Because I believe at one point, I don't know if he was a pastor, but I know at one point, like at home, he was working with a church, doing something like that. I think maybe his dad was a pastor or something like that.
He had a alcohol problem, then he had some troubles financially, and he took himself back a little bit. But I think Vin is the assistant coach, one of the assistant coaches, I want to say for the Bucks.
That sounds right, because I believe I've seen him on the bench somewhere.
Because I think he went and worked in Starbucks or he did something. I don't know why he did it. I don't know if he did it to make an income or what he was doing to buy a franchise. I don't know what it was. But he has some hardship.
Yeah, Vin Baker joins the Bucks coaching staff as an assistant.
Yeah. So I know he worked his way to an assistant. And I saw him in the pre-draft camp, too, as well, coaching in the pre-draft camp. But
is that crazy, though, for a guy to take a little swig, though? Is that crazy? Like, are there maybe a few guys on every...
before the game?
Yeah,
that's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying that other guys haven't done it, because we know guys, you've heard stories, guys smoking marijuana and that stuff. Right. But yeah, definitely that. But it was a problem.
Will he still produce? Like, I think he averaged maybe like 5 a game that season.
I mean, he still could score. I mean, he wasn't like that, but I think he was going through some personal problems, and everybody deal with their personal problems their own way. Right. But yeah, Vin's a good guy. I enjoy playing with Vin. Funny guy.
Next week, I'll try to give you some layups. Name that teammate a little bit too difficult this week.
What? Unfortunately, Clement, in Boston, just to kind of defend myself a little bit, in Boston, Rick Pitino switched teams. I played with, in a 2-year span, I probably played with 40, 50 different guys. Yep. So he had a lot of trades. I mean, I can't remember everybody.
No doubt about it. That's what makes this game so great.
And I played on 6 teams.
Yep.
So that's always, you got to always factor that in too. So, You'd be surprised some guys I play with. I know you look at the list like, damn, I know he was on that team.
No doubt. Yep. That's what makes the game fun, and that's why we'll be able to have this game for quite some time because you play with quite a few different players.
I think you like the fact that I don't get it right, but it's okay. Just keep but eventually, my memory will come back to me now.
I got you next week, though, bro. I got you next week.
We're gonna make a couple of lobs.
Yeah, we're gonna hit you with some layups, man. I'm a dish
I appreciate that.
I'm a dish it to you. Still to come on the Southside Heat, so much more headed your way, including Carmelo Anthony seems to be headed to H-Town. How is that fit? And also, Kevin Love got a new contract, but will he be in Cleveland for the duration of that deal? That and a whole lot more. Stay with us. Southside Heat, coming right back. Shout out to your uncle, man. Your uncle had you on, he was holding you down. He probably was Googling.
I know, right?
Hey, we appreciate Uncle paying attention. We appreciate him being engaged. Uncle was locked in.
They were saying that we could do an Iraq from here to there.
Yeah. You always take an aux cord?
Unc.
Do that take an aux cord, or do it need the adapter thing? If it take an aux cord, yeah. I don't know. Where the hell you plug in the speakers on this motherfucker? It's an aux cord. Yeah, like for headphones.
Yeah, on the side.
No, I do need to.
One from there.
Which Iraq?
I need to holler at you about the
Is
dude.
this an Iraq that goes into the mic?
I said I need to holler at you about the dude with the Cubs from the.
Julie,
You got the,
Yeah,
you remember now.
you got the adapter piece.
Yeah, he had like some blue pads.
Yeah, you remember.
I know, that's what I was asking. I was like,
It's one that come with the phones that should work. If you got, well, see, you got to buy the one for the tablet.
In my time, like, damn, I'm glad I'm going back to
That's a
that.
tablet.
Yeah.
Like,
I got the one.
I'm trying to be the mother.
I need to buy one because I broke one.
Oh, okay.
I got this one that came for the mic.
there should be a simple, aux cord, and see,
You got that kid in surgical color baby.
it's about how you hook into that.
I didn't, but I heard about it. He was on the podcast. I don't know how you gonna try to like
You need an adapter piece.
come at that man on the podcast. And then there was some Twitter back
Because
and
I've seen
forth.
it. So it's the one that cooks to the aux cord, and then it goes directly into that.
Okay, but no, we
That way you hearing what they hear in the
When I
speaker.
hear what the speaker said. Okay.
The radio.
Get more money than you. Everybody knows why you do what you do. Get more money than you. Get more money than you.
What happened with John Wall? Everybody speaking about him.
What you do? Something that's happening now?
I guess he took a picture where he looked like he high or something like that. Like the Team USA picks came out, so like this is pick, so everybody rattling it. That's all.
Look like he having a little fun. He's having a little fun. Get more money than you. Get more money than you.
Everybody knows why you do what you do. It's 'cause you get more money than you. Get more money than you. See, I know why you mad at me. I'm getting more money than you. Get more money than you. Everybody knows why you do what you do. It's 'cause I'm getting more money than you. Get more money than you.
Clement Townsend, Antoine Walker. Be sure that you check out the Be in the Mix Facebook page. We go live on the Facebook page, Be in the Mix, every single Thursday. Follow Antoine on Instagram, Twan Walker 8 on Instagram. He goes live every single Thursday as well. Shout out to his uncle helping him out, tuning in. Twan Walker 8 on IG. And also C Townsend TV. Be sure you follow us on IG. Even though the season is a long way from getting started with training camp and summer league is over, still some news going on, Antoine. And maybe the biggest news, the Carmelo Anthony trade is official. 3-team trade, Carmelo Anthony, Justin Anderson, and a 2022 first-round lottery pick going to Atlanta. The Hawks are expected to waive Carmelo. After he clears waivers, he will be an unrestricted free agent, and all signs point to him joining the Houston Rockets. Now, Dennis Schroeder and Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, they're both going to Oklahoma City, and Mike Muscala is going to the 76ers. But how about, I guess we start off with Carmelo Anthony. Time is short-lived there in the ATL. We never knew you in the ATL. Going to Houston, we know with Houston losing Trevor Ariza to Phoenix and Luke Mbamute to the Clippers, certainly they need another wing player if they're going to try to compete with the Warriors. But for me, Carmelo was like a third guy in OKC, Paul George and Russell Westbrook. Here he'll be a third guy behind Chris Paul and James Harden. Situation didn't pan out in OKC. Why will it be any different in H-Town?
I think he's going to have an opportunity to start. Obviously, Carmelo Anthony's been very vocal about wanting to start still and being the starting lineup. I think I'm looking at the roster of Houston's roster right now. Me as a basketball guy believes that he'll be better fit coming off the bench for his skill set and what he can bring to a team and closing games out. But he'll want to start, so you got to factor James Harden, Chris Paul, P.J. Tucker, Melo, and I'm assuming that Clint Capella is going to sign back.
You would think so.
You know, he's going to sign back. So that's a pretty good starting lineup. You got relatively 3 good defensive players in the starting lineup, and obviously Harden and Melo is your question marks. So you still got, 3 good defenders in the starting lineup. So I think this is the best team for Melo to go to right now. He's going to get an opportunity to spot up and shoot.
But he's not great at that, though.
He's not great at it, but I think, if you look at Melo, he's a jump shooter now. Obviously, we know he has one of the better mid-range games of all time, but he'll be able to spot up in the corner, get wide open threes. I think D'Antoni, after coaching Melo the first time around in New York, I think he'll figure out a better way to use Melo in that second unit. So you can make Melo happy. It kind of reminds me of a situation what I had in Miami, and Pat Riley told me, listen, I'm going to start Shaq, D-Wade you're going to start with them. But I'm going to run everything through those 2 guys.
Okay.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you out the game early. Get you out the game early, bring Posey in, and I'm going to play you with that second unit, and that's going to be your time on the offensive end, while I get my time to shine on the offensive end.
Okay.
I think they can do the similar thing with Melo. Maybe play him the first 6 to 7 minutes of the game, take him out, then bring him back with that second unit while you're resting James Harden and Chris Paul, and allow Melo to get those one-on-one opportunities. You got to remember the style of play that Houston's going to play. They're going to shoot 43s a game.
Right.
So it's going to be a little different. And Melo's going to be he's a value shooter.
Okay.
So Melo will be able to, D'Antoni's not going to get mad if you go 1 for 10.
Oh, no, because he liked them take threes. What they took about 43s a game.
Yeah, so this is a great fit for Melo. He should work out really well there. I think they need him bad because I thought losing Trevor Ariza, I thought they lost a valuable piece to their team. I don't have Houston as being the number 2 team in the West. There's a lot of people have them, believing that they're going to be matched up again against Golden State. Now with the addition of Melo, I like that. I like their chances again.
But last year, when you look at him, he shot 35% from 3, and we know
That's good. That's very good. Actually, it was like 36%.
Yeah, it was 35.7. So you round up, no doubt. You on point.
Yeah.
I see you. It still just didn't seem like it was a great fit. That shooting percentage is good though. Now that we talk about it.
Well, you got to think about it too. I mean, it necessarily was not the best fit, but we got to get those type of fits. You got to give it a chance. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh necessarily wasn't the right fit the first year, but because they went to the finals, people didn't really look at it as the fit didn't work. Because obviously OKC got eliminated in the first round of playoffs, people looked at it that it wasn't the right fit. People got to just understand Carmelo Anthony's game. He hasn't never changed his game. He's a mid-range game player. He's a guy that shoots 16, 17-foot jump shots, one dribble pull-ups. He has the ability to make the three-point shot, and I felt like 36% is really good. The problem with Melo that was missing last year was more attempts and getting to the foul line. One thing about Melo he's been able to do throughout his career, and you want to look at his numbers, he's been able to get to the foul line. And obviously the opportunities were limited when you talk about Westbrook and Paul George. So he wasn't going to have those 20, 25 attempt nights. It just wasn't going to happen unless he got really hot early in the game. So it's a different game. I think a lot of people are looking into the numbers of Melo and saying, oh, he's done. But what power forward, small forward in this league, you don't like to average 16 points a game? I know his field goal percentage was down, but you can't tell me if I can get production like that from a small forward / power forward, great numbers.
Yeah.
And
you just, like you said, you comparing him to peak Melo when
right.
he was the number one guy.
I'm just listening to, we're talking about it now, but
Right.
you listen to all the publications, you listen to all the people on national TV, and everybody's like, oh, Melo's washed up, he's this, he's that. That's far from the truth, and I understand why he's fighting to start, but I hate for a player when we don't realize that maybe, I look at Allen Iverson, and we talked about this a little bit.
Right.
I look at Allen Iverson, kind of ran himself out the league, not wanting to take a lesser role. And not, and I think it's tough. Melo's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So it's tough. I know he's good friends with Chris Paul, LeBron, and D. Wade, and he wants to still be considered in that same conversation as one of the elite. But sometimes you look yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, I got to take a step back, do what's best for me. Because I look at, and it's funny, I look at Chris Paul. Chris Paul didn't go call LeBron, I'm coming to play, let's split this money up. Chris Paul made a business decision. I'm signing right back with Houston. Didn't mess around, didn't play. Sometimes you gotta do things for yourself. And I even look at last year, and me and you was arguing about this last year. Dwayne Wade, he signs with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Out of respect, what does T. Lue do? Stars him.
Right.
Guess what D. Wade comes back and tell him?
Yeah, I probably need to come off the bench.
I need to come off the bench. That's what Melo probably should do that. And let me tell you something. I spent a little portion of my career coming off the bench. It's nice to go against some second tier players. You're not going against the elite. Sometimes you go against that second unit. It's better matchups for you.
Yeah.
So I just hate the fact Melo doesn't look himself in the mirror. And I know it's tough to do that as a star, as a guy that's going to be a first-time Hall of Famer, to believe that, my skills have diminished a little bit. Maybe I need to come off the bench. It's tough to do. And that's why he's probably going to pick Houston, because Houston's going to give him the best opportunity to start and continue to do what he loves to do. But the days of Melo being featured on the offensive end are done. They're gone. There's no team that's going to build around Carmelo Anthony at this age right now. So it's a realization. I don't want him to. I'm pretty sure he wants to play a couple more years.
Right.
So in order for him to be able to do that, he's going to have to humble himself and hope things go great for him if he signs with Houston.
Yeah, and certainly, I think this is his best chance to win, really, unless you join the Warriors. The Rockets, to me, are still going to be an elite team. I don't know if they can win 65 games like they did a year ago. And I believe Melo made the Western Conference Finals maybe one time, right, with Denver. That sound right? So I wouldn't be surprised. I would think they definitely can make it to the Western Conference Finals with Carmelo Anthony. We know how deep the West is, and of course LeBron and the Lakers are there, OKC.
Well, the mental focus, to kind of comment on what you said, I do think it's going to be hard for them to win 65 games, but if your mental focus is, hey, Chris Paul got hurt, we lost in 7 games, we were right there at the door, you're going to come back focused again to go try to get 62, 65 wins to have home court advantage again. Obviously, we know they won the game in Golden State, so they probably believe that, that they can win in Golden State, but they had a mission last year. And they set out and they got everything done that they need to get done by having home court advantage and putting themselves in the best position possible to beat Golden State. So if Chris Paul and Harden are the guys that we think they are Hall of Famers. If James Harden's the MVP, their focus is going to be on the season to get home court advantage again and give themselves another opportunity to beat Golden State. And I think Melo gives them that chance. If they healthy, which is going to be a big question mark, if they can be healthy throughout the season, be a little tough. I'm with you to win 65. The Western Conference is much, much better. It's going to be hard for Golden State to win 60.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not going to be easy either way. So I think I'm gonna be interested to watch Houston Rockets and how important it is for them to believe that home court advantage is. Because this is when we start looking during the season, what guys taking nights off. How Steve Kerr is going to manage his team and give guys nights off. When you got 5 All-Stars, you can do a lot.
Yeah.
On any given night. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. But once again, man, great decision for Melo. If he does sign with the Houston Rockets, I think he'll have an opportunity to start. I think the Houston Rockets need him as much as he needs to be with them. I think it'll be perfect. But hopefully people understand that you're not getting the same Melo no more.
It's just unfair to think about the New York Melo, the Denver Melo.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for. I know people want that and believe that, but to compare his numbers last year and say, "Oh, this is his worst year ever," I mean, he played with MVP and another potential top 10 player in this league, and Paul George. I mean, it's tough.
Right.
You asking a guy who's been 1A his whole career to now be the third option. You struggle in that role, and I mean, you got to give him some credit. He still averaged 16, still was able to shoot 36 from the 3. Obviously, the field goal percentage was not great. He wasn't a great defender, but he's never been a great defender.
Yeah, and we talk about, for me, and I don't know where you stand.
He had to be a great locker room guy, too, though. He had to be a great locker room guy.
Why you say that?
Because I think OKC did right by him.
Okay, the fact that they allow, he's still going to get his money.
Right.
They
Did
work with him.
right by him.
They work with him.
Yeah.
I wonder, though, well, first, I think it can be difficult to play with Russell Westbrook. Certainly, we know Durant balled out because Durant is an exceptional talent.
Mm-hmm.
But we've discussed it before. Guys like a Victor Oladipo or a guy like Deion Waiters, they have had some issues trying to play with Russell Westbrook. So it could be difficult to play with Westbrook because Westbrook is going to do his thing. Westbrook is going to go solo when necessary. I think, and you certainly weigh in, playing with Chris Paul and with him having a relationship with Chris Paul, I think Chris Paul will care more or make more of an effort to try to get Carmelo involved, to try to make sure that Carmelo gets the ball in his right spot, knowing that they're going to need him, whereas I don't really know if Russell Westbrook really cared about that as much.
Great point. I think last year Chris Paul wouldn't have done that because he needed to prove himself and he was playing for a max contract.
Right.
So I think this year Chris Paul, now that he's secure money-wise,
he got the bag.
He's got the bag. So by him having the bag, he's going to do whatever it takes to try to will this team to get themselves in position for the playoffs. So I do agree with you on that. I do believe Chris Paul will share the wealth a little bit more. Harden's he's going to let Harden be him.
Right.
But I think on the other end, I think Chris Paul numbers could go down a little bit on trying to be a little bit more unselfish and getting Melo going offensively. Because let's be honest, Chris Paul right now, he's a guy that we know is going to be able to take over a game if he had to. I mean, I always throw that number out there. It was incredible how good those three guys played, King Capella, Harden, and Paul together last year. That 50-5 record sticks out to me in my head. That was incredible. So Chris Paul has been there before. He's starving to get to the finals. He's starving to win the NBA title. I just think you have to get Melo in championship mode. To me, Melo's never been a championship guy that talks championships. Even last year playing in OKC, you listen to these guys' press conferences, never had that feel like LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh, where they were talking about, they came in, we're not talking about winning one title, but talked about winning multiple titles. When Melo, Paul George, and Westbrook got together, it never was really talking about, hey, we're going to win us some titles. So I think Melo has to get in the mind frame that it's all about winning. When it's all about winning, you sacrifice. You do things that you're not typically used to doing. Like for Melo, you may have to try to at least play defense a little bit. I know you can't guard a locked door, but you might be able to. You got to try to play a little defense, Melo, if you want to have a shot at winning the title. You got to be able to. Kevin Durant improved his defense a little bit more. I mean, Obviously, Steph Curry is one of the worst defensive players in the league, but he at least tries. I mean, Melo's gonna have to try. You make sacrifices in order to win titles.
What about another piece of the trade that's not getting as much headlines and Dennis Schroeder?
Woo! Big time trade.
You like that?
Yes,
You like
that's why that was the reason why I moved OKC up over Houston. Oh,
Whoa. So you
I
had
stutter.
and let's go there. I was gonna go there a little bit later. Give me then your top 4 teams in the West then. Obviously we got Golden State. Well, maybe not Golden State. I mean,
No, Golden State's 1.
Okay.
I like OKC 2.
Okay.
I like Houston 3.
All right.
And this may surprise you, but I like Minnesota 4.
Oh wow.
I like Minnesota 4. I think the Spurs took a step back. I think obviously I do like DeMar DeRozan with them. They won 47 games, so you got to figure if the young guys got better. San Antonio Spurs is my 15, really close 5th. I almost want to put them at 4, but I'm going with Minnesota. I think Minnesota's going to be ready because they had a little turmoil.
Okay.
So I think, Andrew Wiggins is going to come back motivated after having a bad year. You bring back Derrick Rose, who's hungry, who fit in well with them. I think could be an X factor throughout the season. Jimmy Butler should be playing with a chip on his shoulder. Being he's going to be playing for a free agent. Carl Anthony Townsend. So they got a little, it can go either way sometimes. But I think Minnesota needed that. I think Minnesota needed that little turmoil on their team to make it right.
So you have GSW, Golden State, OKC, Houston, and you got Minnesota 4.
Yeah, over the Spurs, but
So over the Spurs, so that means you got the Spurs 5. So that means you got LeBron like 6 in the West.
LeBron 7. I like Portland better than them.
Wow.
LeBron's roster is not good enough. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Right now, on paper, their roster is not good enough. And to me, right now, LeBron James is not going to defer handling the basketball. So you're talking about him being. It's going to take a while. You got to think about it. We just talked about 3 Hall of Famers, how they struggled to put this thing together.
CP3, Harden, and
Not them.
Oh.
Talking about OKC. We talked about.
Paul George.
Yeah,
Okay.
it took them a while. So it's going to take LeBron a while to gel with these guys. He's got all new faces. So what if they? You got to think about it. They could start the first part of the season 3, 4, 5 games of the 500 before they catch their groove. And another thing you got to remember too, Clement, you're out west.
True.
When you're out west, the competition is totally different. I mean, every night's a Dolphin. I mean, I look at a young Phoenix team. That's not going to be. Those are not going to be easy wins playing Phoenix. Maybe Sacramento. They still a ways away. Obviously out there. The Mavericks are probably still behind the 8 ball a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the Denver Nuggets. They're going to be good. I mean, it's a lot of teams. Utah should be good again.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking at
New
that.
Orleans should be decent.
New Orleans should be decent. Portland. So every night is going to be, battle. So I just think LeBron's. If they can get a 7th or 8th seed.
So you think LeBron fighting to make the playoffs, like fighting for one of the bottom seeds?
Yes, I believe that. You talk about they won 35 games last year, and I'm gonna give you a +10 with LeBron. I don't know if 45. We know we had a couple years in the West where you had to get almost 50 wins to get in.
Right. You needed 47 last year.
Yeah, so I think it might be. I think you might be up in that round.
The last time that LeBron only won like 45 games, that may have been like his 2nd or 3rd year in the league. Like, it's been a long time. And I know he's been in the Eastern Conference the whole time. But it's been a long time since LeBron haven't won like 50 games. Goodness gracious, it's been a minute.
50 will be a great season. I got him at 45 to 47 wins, coming off 35 last year. I'm giving you a +10, 12 because of LeBron James, his ability to close games out. But it's going to be tough on the Lakers. And I didn't even mention Denver. Didn't even mention Utah. Both of those teams. So it's going to be an exciting Western Conference. Should be exciting NBA season. But I love Dennis with OKC.
Yeah, let's get back to that because we got off track a little bit because you surprised me. You got OKC 2nd in the West, and you like Dennis Schroeder off the bench?
I like Dennis Schroeder off the bench with him closing games out with both of them on the floor. Westbrook playing the 2. He can move over to the 2 a little bit, be a little Allen Iverson, kind of take that role where Allen Iverson played the 2 position. Westbrook can do that, gives them versatility. I love Steven Adams. They get Roberson back, a knockdown defender. I mean, I love OKC. Paul George should be more comfortable. You talking about Paul George is going to be comfortable in the spot as being 1B. He'll have an even better year this year. I like their pickups. They're young. They're athletic. I mean, I just think that they're a better team. I think when it comes down to it, I like OKC with Denver and Detroit. They're a much better team than Houston. I just think Houston takes too many bad shots. OKC can benefit off that. I like OKC as the second best team in the West, man.
Yeah, Dennis Schroeder to me is a guy who certainly can get buckets on his own. And I know you were saying finish games. And for so long, we talked about...
This is a guy making $100 million.
Yeah.
This is a guy they was going to build a franchise around.
Like, to me, that's why they traded Jeff Teague, because they felt like they had Dennis Schroeder.
Right. I mean, this is a guy... And don't get me wrong. I mean, Billy Donovan, they may go with the 2-point guard star. You never know. I mean, you can get away with that in this NBA today. I would prefer he'll come off the bench. That way Russ doesn't have to play, even though Russ is a big minute guy, Russ don't have to play 45 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's a guy that can, now you can get him a legitimate rest. But that gives them a lot of options up top, man.
Could potentially you have a lineup where you got Russ trying to play off the ball? Could you ever see him agreeing to that and letting Dennis Schroeder, play PG and have the ball in his hands a little bit more, and Russ kind of play a 2?
I think right now Russell Westbrook has accomplished everything in his career except win a title. I think he wants to get to championship level. I think the way he plays hard, he gives it 110% every night. I believe that's what he wants. You got to think this guy went to the finals early in his career. I think it was his 3rd year in his career. He went to the NBA Finals right away. He's been the MVP of this league. He's averaged triple-double 2 years back-to-back. He's a Hall of Famer already in his career. He's accomplished everything. Now it's about winning titles. He was the one to show loyalty to OKC's organization where he could have easily waited and went somewhere else and stayed there. Showed that he can bring another superstar to the team. I mean, Russell Westbrook is going to be very focused, ready to go to take this thing to another level.
I'm looking at Dennis Schroeder last year. Had a couple of games over 30. Actually had a game late in the season where he dropped 41, 16 of 28 in that game.
You don't think it's nice when you can do that? You got a guy that's really like... And the thing about it, nobody's really talking about it because he played in Atlanta. He's not a big name. But this is a guy that's making $100 million. This is a guy they traded Jeff Teague for, like you talked about. Jeff Teague was an all-star point guard.
Yep.
Traded him because they felt like he was better. He's going to be a huge pickup for them. They're going to be able to play both of those guards together. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if Billy Donovan is thinking about going to Westbrook and telling him, let's do the Allen Iverson and put you at the 2 and see if you want to play a little 2 and start both of those guys together, move Paul George down to the 3. But the problem is you're trying to take Roberson out the equation. But you got to think late in games, even though they used to have Roberson in the game. It's Roberson or Roberson?
Andre, I say Robertson.
Roberson, yeah, I don't want to mess his name up. But Roberson, I don't want to, you got to think about that. So late in games, he wasn't able to shoot the basketball. Now you got another guy you can put on the floor that can make shots and make plays for other people. So I love the move. I got them as my second best team.
Wow.
In the West right now, early on in the summer, with Houston being 3rd, with San Antonio and Minnesota with a close 4th.
I'm not ready to put a Russell Westbrook-led team that high.
I understand that. I understand why.
Until I see it, I saw what that Paul and Harden dynamic was like last year, and I know they lost some pieces, but to me, if you still got Capella, who was huge, you had the stat, whatever it was, like at one point, 51-5, whatever it was.
Roberson plays, and Melo gives them anything in the playoffs. They get past Utah. I thought Westbrook and Paul George played well in the playoffs.
That's fine. I'm still just, for me, in terms of putting OKC ahead of Houston. Russell Westbrook, for me, right now, he's always going to have that Lone Ranger, gunslinger, off the rails type of, come down when we need a key bucket. and I'm just gonna shoot a 3, or I'm just gonna go 1-on-1. You know what I mean?
I understand. I just think guys mature. I mean,
I hope so.
I think guys mature. I think you learn from your mistakes. I believe Westbrook has accomplished all the individual things that he can accomplish in the NBA. I think he's going to have a different mentality. I think he wants to show the world that he can bring a championship or at least a finals appearance to OKC. I think he's going to come in with the right mindset. I don't think they make that trade for another potential all-star point guard, a guy of that caliber, without talking to Russell Westbrook and him saying, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. So I just think he's on board to do whatever they got to do to compete. Let me tell you something. And it's funny, and I remember in the finals, I remember in the Western Conference, and then I remember in the finals. And I always like to listen to Steve Kerr's interviews.
Okay.
Because, you know, he speaks from a player's perspective, and obviously playing with Michael and winning so many championships himself. And he just was like, man, talent wins. And, you know, it was as simple as that. You know, it's like he was ecstatic about the talent that was on the floor. You know, Houston, obviously Golden State, a lot of star power there. But he was like, talent wins. And that's like the finals. We saw a more talented team in Golden State beat the LeBron James team, he was the only talented player on the team.
Right.
And we just saw talent prevail. I just think you have to get guys that can play to be able to compete against Golden State. That's why the Melo pickup for Houston is huge, to get a guy that can play, that can compete, that can play at a high level. I think now OKC adding a guy like that to your team, you get the more talent you can put together, you have a chance. That's why Golden State took a DeMar Cousins. Why do you think they took a chance? He a head case, you know, this could go all bad, but guess what?
He got talent.
We got talent.
Can't deny that.
And we got 1 year. We got 1 year to see if this talent works.
Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you think. Is Oklahoma City the second best team in the West, in your opinion, behind Golden State? Or would you roll with me and the Houston Rockets? Hit us up, Walker Antoine 8 on Twitter, Clement TV _. Still to come, we're talking Kevin Love. He's got an extension in Cleveland. Also, Vince Carter will be around for his 21st season in the NBA. We'll talk that and a whole lot more. We got cosign decline as well. Southside Heat coming right back. Word? You going OKC?
Yes, sir. Y'all gonna say about December, you boys gonna be like, man, Swan, you was right, them boys good.
Yeah, I just, what you call them? I believe when I see a Westbrook, I couldn't think of the word that I was looking for, but he just go off the rails to me at key points in the game sometimes. Huh? Leadership, yeah, he just go off there. He just get a little bit wild. Just get a little bit wild.
I just think
it's gonna click.
Yeah.
At some point it clicks.
It's about for him.
Right, for him. Like, I gotta be more, I don't know if careful is the word, but just smarter at key points in the game about shot selection and making the right play. Yeah, he just goes solo. Like, I got this, I'm good. And that's why I was saying it might be better for Carmelo, because I think Chris Paul will kind of not cater to him, but it might just be a better environment.
I can see that.
Just a better environment. Playing with somebody you know, a real PG. You know, when you was here with Tyler Ulis, I'm like, what about Westbrook in top PG? He's like, well, he's not really a PG. He's just kind of like an athlete.
What's a move? I just realized this song says. Wow, you going to the big summer jam? Was it Super Jam or Summer Jam? Huh?
I might, depending on whether or not I'll have to be on set that day. It's just an overrated experience. As soon as you say that, my homie was messaging me about some shit.
I'm gonna do that on Instagram. OKC, second best team. That's definitely gonna be one of the joints I get. Clement Townsend, Antoine Walker, still rocking here on the Southside Heat. Make sure you like the Be in the Mix Facebook page. We go live there every single Thursday. A little behind the scenes action. And be sure you follow us on other social media platforms. Twan Walker 8, C Townsend TV on IG. We're posting all the time. You can get some clips from the show. You can weigh in, all that sort of thing. How about we move the basketball conversation over to Cleveland? And after LeBron James left the Cavs a second time, some people were wondering, would the Cavs just go ahead and tear it down? Would they rebuild? Well, it looks like that is not in the cards. Cleveland has agreed to a 4-year, $120 million extension with Kevin Love. Now, it begins next year. Love had 2 years on his deal. That last year was a player option. With this deal, he can't be traded for 6 months. And Antoine, he actually, by not opting out on that second year and extending, took like 8% less and gave Cleveland a little money in the next few years so maybe they can sign some guys. He helped them out a little bit in terms of cap room. But when you look at Kevin Love, 4 years in Cleveland, averaging 17 points and 10 boards, an all-star there in Cleveland the last couple of years, do you like this move by the Cavs, giving him the big money?
I like the move by the Cavs. A lot of people like, why do that and tie yourself up like that? But I like the move. A lot of people say they should have traded them and reset and started from the bottom again. It's tough, man. It's tough to go from there. I'm talking about the organization that's just been to the finals 4 years in a row. You want to still be a competitive, possible playoff team. The Eastern Conference is not overly tough when you think about it comparing to East or West. So I do like it. I think Kevin Love, now you'll be able to I think the trade possibilities will still stay on the table.
Hands down.
I don't believe that anybody's going to look at Kevin Love's contract and not want to do the deal because of his contract. I mean, this guy's 29 years old. I think he'll be 30. He has been on the team before in his career where he's been the man, and we saw him average 26 and 15. And he had a year in Minnesota where he was a 500 ball club with less talent. So he's very capable of being one of the superstars on the team. So I'm looking forward to seeing Kevin get back into that superstar role. I like him. He's a pick-and-pop guy, plays below the basket, great rebounder, one of the best rebounders in the league, a good passer. And just show, I like the fact that Cleveland did it. I think it actually makes him more valuable now because the team actually may want to trade for him knowing that they're going to get him for a couple of years because obviously you may have to give up a first-round pick for him. So to be able to get a Kevin Love for 3 or 4 years now, you have to worry about a contract, being that he was going to have some option to opt out. I think it actually makes him more make him more tradable now in that position.
Yeah, that's what many people are saying, because if you trade for him, it's not like a 1-year rental, like a Kawhi Leonard, and will he be here? And, you know, if we trade for him and he walks away, we would be left with nothing. You know, if you potentially trade for him, you're going to have him for a few seasons, and you know what that salary will be. And when it comes around to the trade deadline, and maybe, you know, teams that are borderline or who looking to try to make a move in the East, they might look at Kevin Love and say, okay, this might be a guy who's got championship experience from the last 4 years, who really could help elevate us in the East and make them more of a contender.
Yeah, and I think what Cleveland's looking at, and I think people thought, I mean, obviously they haven't been great the last 4 years, or even before, since LeBron. LeBron hasn't been there, they haven't been good. We obviously know that's well documented. The record hasn't been very good, but one thing I do like what Cleveland is doing is they're saying that we're not going to bomb out.
Okay.
We're going to stay competitive. We're going to be able to compete. We're in the Eastern Conference. Right now, like preseason, just looking at the roster, they're fighting for a seventh A seed.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they hit a home run in the draft with Colin Sexton. It looks like this.
So you think LeBron and the Lakers in the West fighting for 7th and 8th seed, and even without LeBron, Cleveland still fighting for a 7th and 8th seed?
Yeah, if healthy. I mean, they still got some pieces. Got veteran guys on their team that's got pride, that have won championships, that have been to finals. They're going to know how to win games late. When you think about their roster, they still have Rodney Hood, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, the big trade they made during the year.
Yeah.
Still gave them some young pieces to go alongside.
J.R., Kyle Korver.
Yeah, Tristan Thompson. So they still have guys on that team that know how to play, that know how to win.
But who is closing out games,
Well,
though?
you got Rodney Hood as a guy that was 16, 17 points a game. They need to get a deal done with him. Obviously, Timothy Lue had a little spat that made me want to make sure that they don't sign a guy that doesn't get along with the head coach and make sure there's no rift there. But you watch Rodney Hood come in the finals, a guy that hadn't played in probably 8 games, and get in there and be very productive. So Rodney Hood is a big-time scorer. He's a guy that you can, that you can count on for 16 to 20 points a night. They got to get him back in the rotation to fold. J.R. Smith and obviously Kyle Korver are getting a little older. To me, I think if I'm Cleveland, just so I don't even have to worry about that, I'm trying to put Kyle Korver in the package right now.
Okay.
Being premium shooting such a premium, he's a guy that should be on the trading blocks right now, and I'm pretty sure he is, to maybe acquire another young piece. But they got Larry Nance, who showed promise, very athletic, a guy who they traded for. So Cleveland is not as bad as what people want to make them out to be.
Okay.
I think because the road guys played so poorly in the finals, I think people are like, oh, they can't play. But I mean, it's tough to play with LeBron James. I mean, it's tough. And Jordan Clarkson was not the same. Didn't give them much. It took T. Lue a long time to snatch him out in the finals. These guys get fresh starts. They're young. They're energetic. And they got a great point guard. They hit a home run. And I believe they hit a home run with the point guard. I think these rookies, listen, we saw 4 or 5 rookies be so impactful last year. Tatum, Ben Simmons, Donovan Mitchell. We see these guys can be that impactful where they can change franchises around. I mean, that Utah situation, we thought they were going down the tubes without Gordon Hayward. They picked Donovan Mitchell 13. He turns out to be this special guy now. He's one of the most exciting players in the league. And Colin Sexton, if you haven't watched him, has that type of ability.
Wow.
He played great in Summer League, and he's going to be good. He's playing for a point guard, and T. Lue, who's been in this league. So you have to like the fact that Cleveland is not bombing out. Kevin Love, everybody looks at the big number, but relative compared to what guys are getting in this league, they got Kevin Love for the cheap.
Yeah. I don't think they make the playoffs. I hear what you're saying. I like Colin Sexton. And your point is valid about the rookies that made an impact. I don't know, a lot. Donovan Mitchell, I say, was a special case. He was phenomenal and was the guy. Jason Tatum, he was great, no doubt about it, but he had a lot of other great players, whether it was Kyrie early or Jaylen Brown. And then when you talk about Ben Simmons, certainly he had Embiid. I think whether it's the Celtics or the Sixers, Simmons and Tatum, they have more talented players to work with around them. Donovan Mitchell was just simply special, and he was fantastic.
But you are right about that as far as more talent in Boston. But I just said it. Cleveland is not. That team has just went to 4 finals. The core of that team has just won the 4 finals and won an NBA title.
But those guys were what, like Kevin Love, J.R. Smith,
Tristan Thompson,
Tristan Thompson.
You just took 2 guys.
But I don't think Korver wasn't there. I don't think for all 4.
But he was there for 2.
Okay.
He was there for 2. So you got guys that have been there and been far and deep in the playoffs. They know how to win games. I mean, it's gonna be a toss up. I mean, when they make the playoffs, I'm not going to sit here and like I want to bet you, Cleveland's going to make the playoffs. No. This is one of those things that I believe they're going to have a legitimate chance to make the playoffs.
You think they'll be competitive?
I like the signing. I mean, I know a lot of people don't. I like the signing. I thought Cleveland did a good job. I definitely, you know how I am, get the bag. So Kevin Love saw 120 in front of him, and it's actually, you know what? You know, you actually got to feel good for Kevin Love. This is a guy that's took most of the negative comment that came out of Cleveland, and to be able to still fight through it, be productive. Obviously, he's fought through some injuries, he's shown to be injury prone, but when he plays, he's been very productive. It's only one team that I don't like him against, and that's been Golden State. In the last 4 years, I felt like he's never played really good against Golden State. But besides that, Kevin Love has been solid. I think he's made the All-Star team all 4 years.
Just the last 2.
Just the last 2?
Yeah,
okay.
The last 2.
So he's made the All-Star team with that group, so I like the fact of that. So I'm rolling with the decision by Cleveland in signing Kevin Love. I don't think it's a bad deal. It doesn't knock me off my feet and make me feel like, oh, they're crazy for doing it. I think it's a good pickup, and they let you know that they're not bombing out, that they're going to stay competitive.
Vince Carter has agreed to a 1-year, $2.4 million deal with the Atlanta Hawks. 21st season for Vince, playing for his 8th team. Last year, he played for the Sacramento Kings. Why is Vince playing for these teams that have no chance to win? I would think when you've been in the league as long as Vince and you still hanging around, like you want to play for a contender. You want to play for a winner. If not, I'm not quite sure why you still doing it. You got any idea why going to Atlanta at this point in his career would be attractive for Vince?
It's tough. I have to agree with you on that. I don't understand it. The only thing that I can wrap my finger around is that he still has an itch to play the game. That's one thing. I thought last year Sacramento they overpaid him. They gave him $8 million for 1 year. I mean, he had to take that. That's called putting your ski mask on and your 45 in your hand and just putting it to somebody's head. It's a stick up. So he stuck Sacramento up. Now I can see the veteran with Atlanta Hawks. The one thing that I'm thinking why the Atlanta Hawks did it. They're in the rebuilding stage. They're very young. You have a rookie coach that's coming in, his first year coach to be the head coach. And you want a veteran presence in the locker room to kind of help guys kind of transition from, in this league. I think that the transition process on how to be professional every day, how to practice hard, how to work hard to get to a level where you can play 21 years. Just having that voice, because sometimes as a head coach, obviously, especially a new head coach, you need some eyes and ears in that locker room. I think that's what Vince Carter is going to be for them, be more of a player coach. I see Vince has been doing a lot of TV, a lot of NBA TV over the last couple years, so he maybe wants to transition into that. Maybe they like the way he talks and handle himself on TV, that he could be a good mentor. It strictly is not about basketball, because he ain't going to help you win no games. And that's no offense that Vince Carter can't still play no more. But I'm with you, Clement. I mean, the big 3 out here, he could have went and got his itch off in the big 3. Man. But I think Atlanta offered him something, more of a role, a mentor role in that locker room. Because if he wanted to play basketball, he could have got his itch off in the big 3 and retired. Because playing 21 years, and the bad part about it, he's actually only killing his career numbers. He's not really it's not really helping him. It's not like he's really chasing anything. He may pass a couple people, but I can't see Atlanta playing him 25, 30 minutes a night. This is probably going to, like I said, it's going to be a situation where he's going to be a mentor in the locker room, a good guy, try to help these guys through the rest of it. This is his 8th team in 21 years. But kudos to him. I wish I could have played 21 years.
That's the thing.
Ain't nothing wrong with sticking up at 20. At 240.
Y'all give me an extra 2.4.
Yeah, man, if you can do it, you do it. I mean, him and Dirk doing it the best, baby.
Yeah, and 21 years. You just mentioned Dirk, and that leads into Dirk 21 years with the same team. You know, a lot of times you talk about guys don't get to go out the way they want to, or maybe for some reason, whether it's injuries or like Iverson or whatever, you know, you kind of, I won't say get shunned, but your time gets cut short in the NBA before you would like. Do you think we'll ever see, because in this day and age, like when you think about guys now who have stayed with the same team, Steph, I believe for the 2009 draft, still with the same team, Westbrook still with the same team, but to see Dirk 21 years with the same team, will we ever see that sort of thing again?
Maybe not with free agency. Not the way these guys are moving in free agency. Not with AAU. I take it all with the AAU basketball and guys being friends and wanting to play with each other and all that. I mean, it's a different era, a different generation of guys and players. These organizations, you know, it's tough for an organization to stay loyal to a player. They typically, you know, use you until your skill set is pretty much done. We've seen so many players. I look at Paul Pierce in Boston, and you know, you get 15 straight years, but then they trade him. You know, so you got different situations that happen. I think Dirk's situation. I think Mark Cuban is. I can't quite call the year that Mark Cuban took over, but I want to say Dirk was got to be like his baby, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You know, Dirk is his guy. Like, that's when he took over. Dirk was his guy. I don't know if his group drafted Dirk while he was the owner. He may came in, but Dirk was his guy, his superstar. He brought him a championship. Dirk was the MVP of the league, MVP of the finals. Dirk was that guy that brought him his first title. And I think these last 3 to 4 years, Mark Cuban has just been loyal to a fault because of what Dirk has done for that organization. And it's kind of like the Clippers organization I always talk about. The Clippers don't really, if you think about the Clippers and their organization, they have Elgin Baylor, maybe, but we don't. That's why I thought it was important to sign Chris Paul back.
Okay.
To kind of start to build your own legacies with your organization.
Like, who is the
team.
face of the franchise? Who do you associate with?
I thought Blake Griffin was going to be that, and Chris Paul.
Yep.
So I think Dirk is that guy. So now when you think about the Dallas Mavericks and their tradition, Dirk won a title. He'll be a first-time ballot Hall of Famer. He'll probably end up working for the team. So I think that's why we see Dirk staying there for 21 years. That was more something personal, I think, for Mark Cuban. I'm pretty sure that Donnie Nelson has went to Mark 92 times.
Yo, hey, we gotta tell him to shut it down.
And I'll never forget this, Clement. I don't know if you remember this. This was probably 4 to 5 years ago. Dirk Nowitzki was a free agent. I would say maybe 4 years ago. He signed. The Los Angeles Lakers offered him a max deal to go with Kobe. They offered him a max deal. He turned the max deal down and signed 2 for $25. You can look it up. Okay. Dirk signed 2 for $25 with the Mavericks to stay in the Mavericks. Took a huge pay cut. It was big talk, and I think Mark came back the next year and gave him the big deal. It's maybe 4 or 5 years ago. He had one chance to leave, and I think when Dirk showed loyalty.
2014, you think?
Yeah.
3 year, 25.
That deal.
That's it.
That same summer, the Lakers offered him a max deal.
Okay.
And obviously, I don't know what the cap was at the time, what the max deal was for him to go to another team, but he took a huge pay cut, and I think he signed another deal. I think after that.
Yeah, 2017, 1 year. Well, 2016, 1 year, $25 million contract. So that was like the make good right there. All right, you take the 3 years, 25. We'll get you on the back end.
Right. So, and you gotta remember back then the cap was different. So I mean, obviously we look at these numbers and we like, wow, but back then that was big money. You know, if a guy.
What, the 1 year, 25?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hands down.
It was
hands
huge
down.
money.
That was huge. 2016, that was huge.
Yeah, to take 1 year, 25. So that's what I'm saying. So I think that deal, keeping Dirk in there was more on the side of making sure that he was gonna show loyalty to Dirk. I don't think that was nothing more, nothing less. Now I always tease about Melo and Steph Curry can't guard a locked door.
Dirk
Dirk can't guard my mama. My mama don't even play basketball. He's a liability out there.
Like 2 left feet.
Man, he's a liability out there. I don't know, man, but I mean, you got to be happy for those guys to be able to get 21
with the same
years,
team.
but to get 21 years out your career and still play and the organization still sign you. I mean,
That's awesome.
it's awesome, man.
Remarkable.
So you got to be happy for both of those guys.
One guy who many people thought might be the next face of the Spurs organization, Kawhi Leonard. We have talked about the situation before. That trade is official. You know, there was some question marks as to would Kawhi show up, X, Y, and Z, but there have now been pictures out with him and Masai Ujiri. But I was reading a story about maybe where some things started to go wrong between the Spurs and Kawhi Leonard, and we know what's been publicized about the handling of his injury. But I saw a story, Antoine, about 2016, the All-Star game, where Kawhi Leonard went to Toronto, and he saw a lot of the other players getting kind of lavish treatment. Leonard and his traveling companion saw the other All-Stars like Oklahoma City point guard Russell Westbrook. They were using private luxury cars to get around instead of the standard transportation. And Leonard and his camp started to feel they wanted the star treatment as well. He didn't feel like he was getting that from San Antonio. When he went to China in August of 2017, when he was the NBA ambassador, he was mobbed by fans wearing his jersey, and he saw himself as a global brand. So why don't I get the star treatment from the Spurs? What I want to ask you, though, what is the differences? Because I've also heard people talk about Trevor Ariza. It irritates him that stars are treated differently than some other players. And I've heard you talk about maybe Shaq in Miami, where I think he had some guys fly on the plane with him. And maybe LeBron James, I don't know, his friends and associates can have free reign in the arena, and maybe you get extra tickets. What is, from when you play, what is the star treatment? Do you get a suite when you go on the road? What is the star treatment? Maybe with something that Leonard was talking about, where he was looking for some of the differences that the big time guys get, that just regular players, the 10th man, he doesn't get all that.
Well, it's actually tough, because I think when you look at, I think Michael, and obviously I had an opportunity being from Chicago and to be around Jordan. Michael probably was the first guy to actually get that type of treatment where he had his own team or own like situation going on outside of the organization. Usually most organizations are very anal about how they run their organization and what they allow. They have their own rules, their own security team, and just about every player has to follow those rules. But my first experience of it is I played with Shaquille O'Neal. He had, we call him Uncle Jerome. Uncle Jerome traveled with him.
Every single game, road trip, whatever.
He traveled with him every single game, road trip. That was the first time that I seen in the NBA a player have separate security than the team security. That was the first time I seen it. How he was able to work that out in his deal, or how was that part of the package, I don't know.
And he was on the team playing.
That he was on the team playing, he traveled with us, everything. He got per diem, so he was actually on the Miami Heat's payroll as well as Shaquille's payroll, I'm assuming. I'm assuming he's not hanging with Shaq and living with Shaq and being with him for free. I don't know their financial situation. Right. But whatever it is, that was the first time I experienced it. Now, obviously, I knew LeBron since he was 16, came to Chicago. I know Maverick. I know Rich Paul. I've been around those guys when they were younger. And that's his team. I know Randy, too, as well. So I met those guys young. And it kind of was the reason why Dan Gilbert was so upset, because he let his rules down and gave LeBron James everything. Gave him all the extra stuff, where your friends can fly on the plane. Y'all can use my plane. You can have Randy with you on the road. He can sit behind the bench. He set that up, and he allowed that to happen, and gave him all the extra things that you talk about Kawhi may want going forward or may be looking for. The San Antonio Spurs organization is an organization that is probably ran old-fashioned. No one player or no one coach is bigger than the organization. It seems like that's how it's been ran the last 22 years since Pop has been there. When you look at the closeness of Tim Duncan, Ginobili, and Tony Parker, they're all very close. And coming out that camp and coming from out that organization, nobody seems bigger than the organization. So I can see why Kawhi Leonard, or why he feels that way, because they don't operate like that. LeBron James is the best player in the world. Now, I'm pretty sure that meeting with Magic wasn't just all basketball.
Okay.
I believe that LeBron James probably sat down and said, okay, look, this is what I need. Randy got to travel with me. I need 8 to 10 floor seats, or I need a suite for my family, my kids. I'm pretty sure all that stuff was talked about before he even signed.
Okay.
I need to park my car right here.
Tell me, you and Paul, when y'all were at the height of it in Boston, we going to the Eastern Conference Finals, y'all all-stars. Did you have a certain amount of tickets or a suite or a parking spot? Like, come on, man, this Boston with this Twan Park.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, the thing about me is once I started making money in 99, real money, max money, I set up my own situation. So I went in and was like, look, okay, you get 3 free tickets. They're going to be great seats. I need 3 more seats.
Okay.
I need, what deal you going to give me? You're going to have to pay for it. They're going to get their money.
Right.
But I need 3 nice seats too. So
you have like 6 to every game.
That's that. And then obviously, you got the ticket guy.
Okay.
And then what you try to talk to him and be like, look, you got any extra tickets, let me know. I got people. But I went out and put my own self and made sure I had my own situations taken care of.
Okay.
But also, working with the team and, get as much discounts as I can.
Right.
But it's different. I mean, the stars are going to get treated different. I mean, it's when me and Paul were the man. Like, I didn't park in the parking spot in Boston. In the playoffs, I did not park at the practice facility, I never parked. I parked in front of the door. No, I'm serious.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I think I've heard you say that before.
Yeah, I parked in front of the door.
Right.
When I played in Boston. Danny Ainge hated that. He couldn't stand the fact that I parked in front of the door. But I was the man. Who's going to tell me something? You know what I'm saying? So I parked in front of the door. It's different. It's,
Give me something else. I've heard suites on the road, bigger rooms. No, you guys got to pay for that?
No, it depends. I mean, some organizations are different. I mean, I played with the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban, if you have 5 years or better, you got a suite.
Okay.
So that was just him. That was how Mark Cuban ran his team. Every team is totally different. I mean, I played in Atlanta. Atlanta might stay in the Western. But I play, you play in organizations like the Celtics, the Miami Heat. They stay in only Ritz-Carlton. 4 seasons.
Find me in the Ritz-Carlton.
You play for Minnesota.
Find me in the Ritz-Carlton.
You be in Minnesota. You could be in Minnesota or in Atlanta. They might pull up in front of the Western, big fella.
And you'll be like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm used to staying the 4 seasons of Ritz, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, cheeseburger costs $60. Hey, that's why I'm used to staying. That's where I want to stay.
$60 cheeseburger.
Yeah, man, you may get your $60 cheeseburger now. But let me tell you something about Kawhi though. To be honest, the Kawhi situation, if that's what he's looking for, I mean, the thing about Kawhi, and everybody's like, it's hard for people to say something negative about him because he don't talk a lot. Everybody thinks he's such a great guy, and I believe he is a great guy. But I mean, you ain't at that level, Kawhi. No offense.
What you mean? We say he top 5.
You say he's top 5. I say he's one of the top players in the league. Arguably, I've never rated Kawhi Leonard and say he's top 5. I say when healthy, best two-way player.
Okay.
He ain't that guy.
You say when healthy top 10?
This the thing.
Let
me see, this is the thing. See,
okay.
See, it's like I always like to talk, this is all different conversations.
Yeah.
Kawhi, great player. Potentially be great. He's got unbelievable career so far. Numbers have improved year in, year out. He's on a good roll. Comes back, he's probably going to be a great player. But he ain't going to ever be considered in the GOAT conversation. I mean, so
not many people will though.
Okay, so you ain't considering the GOAT conversation. You should want what LeBron get.
But Kevin Durant,
well, guess what he make? He make all the cash in the world to set up those situations. Well, he can set. This is what I'm saying.
He was talking about Russell Westbrook got that. Russell Westbrook not gonna be in the GOAT conversation.
But guess what? It's different. OKC, different organization. You gotta go. You gotta go with the organization. That's OKC's organization. Maybe a first class organization. How they lay it out. That's just how some of these teams work. I just told you the difference in hotels.
Right.
Memphis,
Minnesota,
them places, They booking the Western. They booking the Western. You know, they might put you in the Hyatt. I like to stay on premium. I'm 5-star. Peninsula,
The Hyatt.
4 season.
The Hyatt. They say, you know, we Holiday Inn Express.
Hey, look,
The
man.
Hyatt.
Hey, man. I'll tell you what them organizations may do. Now, most of the NBA teams do have NBA hotels. Most teams I've played on have stayed in the 4 Seasons. They're rich. But I also played in Minnesota when we checked in the Western. Played in Atlanta Hawks when we checked in the Western. You know what I mean?
You remember that too. That seems like that stand out to you. Because you was like, what's going on here? Like, he keeps
Well,
talking about.
Disrespect.
Well, you know, I get in at 2, 3 in the morning. I like to go to me a little room service, watch me a little sports center.
And you can't have that at them joints.
No, I ain't shut you down. Breakfast at 6 a.m.
You like, what?
What? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I like
Little breakfast.
But the 5-star is room service anytime.
So I understand where Kawhi's at, but you're not at that level where next year with the Lakers, he can't go in. What he gonna go in there and say, I need my uncle with me? Imagine gonna tell him, stand down, big fella. This ain't that. You come to be complimentary star to Buddy. You come to be the complimentary star to dude down there.
Check
But
it out.
I guarantee you LeBron James, his one-on-one meeting with Magic, wasn't just all basketball.
Right.
And now let's get the business part. What I need. You don't think Magic said, "What you need to come here?" Well, I need. I got a little things few things I need. Pretty sure he want his kids to sit to a certain part. I don't know if they do suites. I don't know if they do seats. That need to be taken care of. I need X amount of floor seats. That need to be taken care of. And I need Buddy on the plane with me. He's my assistant. I need him on the plane with me.
Have you ever seen anybody else other than Shaq that has something like that?
Nah,
That
never
was it?
seen it.
That was it?
I've seen other supers. Now I've been on a team where and I'm not gonna lie, in Boston, the head security kind of catered more towards me and Paul.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna lie. Back then, I was a private dancer. Ain't no going out with me. I don't need no security with me. I move different. I might go to the hood. I don't need you with me. You know what I mean? I don't need you doing everything I'm doing. And especially if I play in this day and age of social media,
Right.
I would definitely wouldn't have nobody with me.
But then again, because of social media, you might need somebody to keep you out of some stuff to make sure you're good. Because folks always got their camera.
Man, I ain't willing with nobody. I like to move when I want to move. That's just how I am. I got to be able to move when I want to move. I ain't got time to be getting nobody up. Let's go with me. They tired. They just no.
If they
Best thing I got going on in the world right now, they got Ubers. They got, you know what I mean?
You're a fan of that, boy. You're
Yeah,
a fan.
Uber, Lyft. You know what I mean? But I hear Kawhi Leonard, and that's what you want. Playing in LA ain't gonna get you that, and obviously playing in San Antonio is not gonna get you that. But he can create that environment for himself. You can create that whole environment. You're a max player. You finna sign for close to $200 million next summer. You can create all the environment you want. But on the court, so if you want to go overseas, look, I was with Adidas International. I went overseas. I know how I feel to get off the plane. You fly over there first class.
Right. You in a whole different place, right?
Yeah. You get off the plane. Everybody know you coming. You land in China and you land in Europe, all these places, and they got camps and billboards of you. Yeah, they used to make you look real good. Yeah, but that's it for 3 weeks. You done? Oh, let's take it down.
Back to reality.
Back to reality. So, I mean, enjoy that moment. That's all Kawhi did. It's a shoot deal. They went over there. They're going to lay it out for you. I open up a couple of Adidas stores, do some camps. I mean, that's what you do. When you're a big-time player and they invest, $5 to $6 to $10, $12 million in you a year in the shoe deal, that's what you get. I did that. I was with Adidas International. I had spent 3 weeks of my summer of my life, of my 13-year career, traveling to Europe. That was part of the agreement to get your money. Derrick Rose is going to China. James Harden is going to China. All these guys are going. And guess what? They got their billboards. They look great. Kawhi Leonard listen, be you, man. You've been able to be successful. Be you. Be the player that you are. You can arguably be one of the top 2, 3, 4 players in this league. There's nothing wrong with having your own destination and wanting to play somewhere. I get that. I'm cool with that. I would never knock that. I wish I could have played in Chicago. It probably wouldn't have been good for me. I probably would have been retired in 5 years instead of playing 13 years. But everything, so don't think that's not your personality. You can't take that. You can't even talk right now. You can't even hold a press conference and talk right now. So you don't want that. And if you want that atmosphere and that environment that you want to have security guards and you want people to love you and you want the private, man, cut you a go. Look, man, they got these private jet deals. I'm on Instagram. I see all these guys. I mean, when I was flying private, that thing was costing too much. I had to give me some miles with American. Just call it. I was cool.
Just go first
Yeah,
class.
I would treat myself twice. I'm not gonna lie. I would probably jump on the G4 twice a year.
Okay.
Yeah, but
the price tag, man.
Yeah, man, these things are crazy, man. You can buy some miles. Let me tell you a situation. So I had a situation. I got tricked. I was like, it's like $250,000 for 25 hours. Private.
Right.
I'm like, all right, cool. And my first trip was 8. I ain't had number 17 left. I got one trip. I got literally, listen.
But you go 3 trips, 8 fees.
Listen, for 250K, man, I got 4 trips.
Okay.
So I mean,
Do you remember where you went?
No, I was just random. I just had them. It was like
Right.
It was
Are
like
we talking just we in state, like we going to Cali or something like that?
Yeah, like I went to California and back, Vegas and back. I may have went to Puerto Rico and back.
$250,000.
I went to Jamaica.
Okay.
I went to Jamaica. I remember I went to Jamaica. I went from Vegas to Jamaica. That really ate up the hour.
Why you say you got tricked though?
Because I would have never did that. I could have flew America for $1,500 first class. I could have flew America.
You say in hindsight.
So look, I'm in Vegas. No, I'm serious. I'm in Vegas. So this was crazy. This when I stopped. This is my last trip. Me paying for private. So I'm in Vegas. I had used my miles up. So I'm supposed to go on vacation. At this time, my fiance. I was supposed to go. We're not gonna name no names. But I was engaged at the time. So I go.
I think you only been engaged one time. I
Yeah,
think.
so I mean,
Okay.
you figured it out.
No doubt.
Yeah, I was engaged twice. Broke up, got back in. That's a long
Same
story.
person.
We'll get on that another show.
We need to.
Yeah,
We
we'll
need
get on
to.
another show. But anyway, so like, look, so I like, man, I'm playing. I'm playing craps at the table. I'm playing. I'm like, man, my regular flight, American flight, $1,500 flight, was leaving like in 2 hours. So I'm like, man, I gotta go. I got stuck. So now I done missed my flight.
You got stuck. Why?
I was shooting dice.
Right. So you
Losing, I gotta stay there. So
this is on your own. See,
Yeah.
when I say
I gotta
stuck,
stay there.
like it was some conditions outside of your control.
No, I'm just stuck.
You just want to stay.
So I'm playing, so I didn't miss my flight. So I'm like, man, so now I had called travel agent like, hey, no, I need to get there. She like, well, you can't leave till the next day, tomorrow night. I'm like, oh my God. Now my girl, like, man, she finna go crazy on this our vacation. I'm like, man. So Charles Oakley happened to be at the table.
Wow.
My man. So Charles was like, man. I said, Charles, now I gotta get out of here. He said, man, take a plane. I'm like, you got a guy? He was like, yeah, I got a company I use, whatever. I'm like, all right. I said, you know what? Let me see how much it costs. No, I take that back. I did ask how much it costs. I did not ask.
Oh.
He was like, I got the plane. He was like, it'll be here in the morning. So I get on G4 by myself. Big boy, I'm G4.
By yourself?
Stay over Oak all night.
Where your lady was at? It's a vacation.
She already in Jamaica. I got to meet her there.
Oh, like she just got on the plane without you. Like, I'll meet you there.
Yeah,
I was in Vegas. She was in Miami. She just went
y'all
there.
went together. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm meeting in Jamaica. So man, I get on the plane. Says, more I get there, woo, private land, everything set up. So the next week, I get back to Chicago.
That bill.
I see Oak. Oak tapped me on the shoulder. Hey, big fella, I need that cash back. Man, that bill was $40,000. I went through the roof.
Just from Vegas to Jamaica.
$40,000 because I took the G4, the big plane, by myself, the fuel. Oh man, that's the bad part. I didn't even drink. I had like some water, a Diet Coke, and small meal. I slept the whole flight. Man, do you know how mad I was, man? 40. Had to wire that man $40,000, man, for a one-way ticket. That was my last day flying private.
40,000.
When being a baller goes wrong.
Man, so Kawhi, listen, this is Kawhi, man. Check this out. Look,
You
Hey, look,
need to ask
got
that
the
price
car
tag.
down,
man.
big
Hey,
fella.
You need
listen.
to ask that price
Hey,
tag.
listen, man. I know you want to be a star and all that, man. Hey, look, man. Don't do it. Just be cool. They say you live a very easy lifestyle. You're not flashy, man. Make that money. Sit back, relax, man. Stay in your lane. Your lane. Cause I don't know if you want this private and private cars. Cause them bills that come with that. Ooh, there's some bills that come with that now.
40 grand
40
one
grand
way,
one way.
no doubt.
Hey, LeBron paid 1.5 to for somebody to work him out. So you got to, you know what I'm saying? So you do you.
Are you about that? Are you about that? Are you about that?
Are you about that life?
We got to take a quick break on the Southside Heat. Still to come, Lamar Odom getting back into the game of basketball.
Ooh, really? Where this come from?
No doubt. Where will he be playing in the upcoming season? That and a whole lot more. Southside Heat coming right back.
Yeah. I used to see her every day. She was a woman.
We got
my guy.
he's going to Miami. So he was like, look, y'all get to Atlanta. I'm going to throw a party Thursday night in Atlanta. I got Friday. We're going to take the plane from Atlanta to Miami.
Okay.
So he was like, I got to go. I wonder how much would the plane from Atlanta to Miami, depending on.
That wouldn't be that bad because that's like an hour flight. See, you know they talk about an hour.
Oh, they talk about.
And the fuel, that's what costs you.
Okay.
So I don't know what, hey listen man, I don't know what's going on right now. I'll be on Instagram, I'll be seeing everybody.
He's already, he just said, give me your name and your date of birth. So he's like, yo, we'll meet, we'll file something.
Cause you know the pilot flying like, I don't know how you out flying. You know, I ain't getting on them little boys.
I didn't have to do that before, but I think it's a long time.
Nah, you know, I ain't getting on them little boys.
So I think it's 7 of us.
So he probably putting out 10 passengers, that's not size. It could be 8, man. I'm tight.
Let's come back. We done 3:55.
That was a funny story, man.
Yeah. Now I know, forget that, but I may not want that jumper, baby.
Clement Townsend, Antoine Walker, Southside Heat. As always, we keep it real, straight, no chasing. We appreciate that peek behind the curtain. You know, that G4 life, 40 grand one way. We appreciate you letting us know how that life is.
Yeah,
because I'll never see that
I
life.
sure wish I had a refund right now.
No, that 40 grand one way, not happening. But no, I was talking about Lamar Odom getting back in the game, and Odom said he's going to play in China.
That's nice, man. How old is Odom?
How old is he?
Yeah, that's nice, man.
He got to be, I'm guessing, 38-ish. Last time he played in the NBA was 2013.
Man, Odom's I wouldn't consider him a good friend, but I will consider him a real good associate.
Okay.
I mean, we got some history.
38 on the head, turned 39 in November.
We got some mutual friends. We've had a lot of dealings early on in my career where we've hung out in Vegas and kicked it in L.A. and I've been around Lamar. Kind of lost, probably once he started dating Chloe. I hadn't talked to him really since that time. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy for him. I mean, he may probably, 38. I mean, it's not a lot you can expect at 38, but if you still have an opportunity to be effective. See, that's the thing. I mean, obviously he probably can make more money in China, but why wouldn't you play in the Big Three?
It's a good question.
I mean?
But like you said,
you know what I mean? So I don't understand. I mean, maybe it's the summertime because. Well, it can't be the money. Maybe he's a little. Maybe want to get his feet wet over there. Maybe he could be a little embarrassed because the situation went public and playing the Big Three. But all the guys love him. I don't see him. I mean, you never hear a lot of people saying anything negative about him. I mean, everybody had the thoughts and prayers going out with him, and he was going through supposedly his drug problem and everything. So I'm happy for him, man. I'm a big fan of anybody got an opportunity to keep doing what they love to do and do it till you can't do it no more. And I'm glad to see you getting an opportunity to play.
Posted it on IG. Thanks, Lord, for giving me another chance in life.
Also,
thank you
it's
for
real
fans for your love and support during those hard years. I'll be playing in China. Didn't say what team, but he said basketball and children have always been a light in my life, and this is where my focus is right now. So
yeah, that's good for him.
We'll see how it all plays out. Lamar Odom on IG saying he playing basketball in China. I don't know if you saw too, Al Jefferson gonna head over there to China.
Yeah, Al's my guy too. I meant to put a call in to Al and to find out why he made the decision because I read that the Indiana Pacers did offer him a deal to come back, but I mean I'm assuming for you not to, he's got the less veterans minimum, and I think Al's been in the league over 10 years, so the veterans minimum would have been a nice paycheck to what he's getting in China.
Maybe they broke him off too. Maybe.
But it don't make sense. I mean, because it's probably going to end up being the same money. I can't see him giving them more than $300,000-400,000 a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't see it.
And to go over to China, you would have to think
to switch up and go.
Right,
to
right. I need to make a lot for me to go all the way over to China to play.
I could be totally wrong. I'll be interested to see when the numbers come out on that deal because the veterans minimum. Only thing I can see if the Pacers, the contract wasn't guaranteed with the Pacers, and they only wanted to guarantee. That's what I'm thinking. If the Pacers probably only wanted to guarantee a certain amount up until January, when they have to make those moves. When you have to guarantee the contract. So I guarantee you the deal from Indiana was not guaranteed. That's the only way I can see him going over. Because, I mean, Al's a big guy. He's not like a guard, so you got to hope somebody give you the ball down there. I mean, so the numbers, I mean, but we see a lot of NBA players go over to China and be very successful. So
you know, Dwayne Wade. That came out there. He's got an offer because I think he was over there because he's got like a shoe deal, and it came out this team, the Golden Bulls in China. They offered that man 3 years, $25 million. He would be the highest paid player in China if he accepts that deal. And there's been talk about whether he'll come back for Miami. And certainly when I looked at it, the Sun Sentinel's reporting the most that Miami could offer is like the mid-level exception. That's 5.3. So D Wade would get more if he were to go to China, but to me, like D Wade in China, I can see Al Jefferson, Lamar Odom. Like D Wade still has something to offer an NBA team, and Wade County. Like I just can't see D Wade finishing up in China. That seems crazy.
No, this is a guy that's got 3 championships, first-time ballot Hall of Famer, one of the top 2 guards ever in the history of the game. Definitely in my top 5 or 6 2 guards in the game, never played a game. So. I think going over there would not be smart. I wouldn't say it'd be a waste of time. I mean, obviously a new adventure, something to try. But I'm not in his pockets. I don't know his financial situation.
You don't think he need money though, right?
No, I mean, no.
Because he got that big payday for the Bulls.
But you never can say what somebody would do.
Okay.
And a lot of guys sometimes look for new challenges.
Right.
I don't think that's a new challenge that he needs to look for. I think he needs to do what you just talked about, take the deal. If the Miami Heat offer him a nice deal, take that deal, and
go on his farewell tour.
Or whatever the case may be.
If he wants one, I don't necessarily believe he has to announce it. I think he might wants to, leave in the. If I was to announce it, I would announce it late to the Heat fans and do it that way. Maybe towards the last game of the season that this will be my last home game or something. You get all the stars and everybody to come out and do your thing, and obviously you can play in the playoffs. So I think Miami's going to make the playoffs, but. I think Dwayne Wade's role is going to change this year. I think he's going to be a situation where he's not going to play the minutes he played last year. I think Dion Waiters is coming back. The team will be fully healthy unless he just beats Dion Waiters out of camp. But I think last year he was in a situation where Miami was hurt. So we got a chance to see D Wade play 25 minutes, some nights 30 minutes. I think this year will be a little different, being that they got a young core over there in Miami. But I hope he does not take the deal in China. I know he just signed a lifetime deal with Ling Ning and Hill. This is my thing. You're going to still make money off the court selling shoes over there. You're going to still be able to go over there and tour and spend a month, 2 months, whatever you need to do to make your money in China. You don't need to go over there and play. His legacy is too strong to add that to his portfolio. We saw a guy, and obviously the money was totally different back in the day, but we saw Dominique Wilkins do that.
Oh, really?
Kind of sell out.
I remember that.
Yeah, Dominique left the NBA. It was towards the end, kind of the same as Dwayne. They got offered big money to go overseas.
Right.
I think Dominique played 2 years over there.
Okay.
And then came back to the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. But I saw Dominique Wilkins do that. Obviously, it didn't hurt his legacy or anything like that. Obviously, Dominique is in the Hall of Fame. But I'm just saying for Dwayne Wade, it just seems like he don't need that. He don't need that on his thing.
Before we get out of here, time for cosign or decline. You know the drill. I make a statement. Antoine, you agree, you cosign. If not, decline. I saw this one on Twitter, man, and I guess I was in the minority, but I'll see where you go with it. OG Anunoby, the Raptors rookie, will have a better career than Kyle Kuzma, the Lakers rookie. Cosign or decline?
Decline. I think Kyle Kuzma is going to be an all-star in this league. And it's tough for me to go against a Chicago guy. You know that, how I feel. But I think Kyle Kuzma has star potential. I just believe he's going to be a terrific talent. A little nervous to see if LeBron James playing with him can stop his growth and development. But I like him a lot.
On Twitter, people overwhelmingly felt like, and the question they had was who has more upside. The question I gave you was a better career. But upside, better career, like I'm taking Kuzma all day. Like the offensive game that I saw from Kuzma is so well developed. People were saying OG is a couple years younger than Kyle Kuzma, and the fact that he started, I believe he started 59 games, started 62, excuse me, on a 59-win team for the Raptors.
No,
he played on a good team, but their thing was, and I don't agree, I'm with you on Kuzma, but Kuzma was putting up numbers on a bad team.
Yeah, actually they were not a bad team. They were an improving team that jumped up in quite. I think they had like a plus 13, 14 wins compared to the year before or something like that. They won 35 games.
Right.
And a very competitive. At one point towards the end of the year, even though nobody talked about it, they were in the playoff hunt.
Sure were.
And so that you got to put those things in perspective. But Kyle Kuzma all day.
Yeah, I mean, OG to me, and I know he's still young, OG is 21 years old, and I believe Kuz might be 23.
They all young, man. They all dropping. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're 23.
Yeah, everybody.
But OG will never be offensively to me what Kyle Kuzma is. I don't think he'd be able to catch him. But OG's defense is far superior. So
I mean, yeah, but that offensive-wise, skill-wise, playing in L.A., I mean, I know they won 55 games, but when you play at the Mecca and doing it at the Mecca, it's a few places in Mecca. There's two of them, my opinion. That's L.A. and New York. Those two Meccas, when you do it there, you're doing it. That's just me.
I'm with you. Hey, all right, better to build around big man, or is it better to build around Rudy Gobert than Al Horford as a big man?
Is that a two-part question?
No, I just messed up the question. Here's the statement. It's better to build around Rudy Gobert than Al Horford as a big man.
It's better to build around Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, and take out that, you should build around a guard. Just say we use in this position.
No, it's better to build around a big man, especially a guy. If we're talking about those two Pacific players, skill set-wise, what Rudy Gobert can give you to be able to dominate one side of the floor, I think is tremendous. Offensively, he's not as stiff. He's not a guy that you can't throw the ball to and get a bucket from. He's a guy that can make free throws. He's a guy that can make a 15-foot jump shot. I just believe that if I had to build around those two, and now Horford's had a great career, but I would have to build around Rudy Gobert because he can dominate one side of the floor.
Okay. I would agree with that. I would say it's close.
It's close when you try to think of skill set, but the fact that Rudy Gobert can actually change a game on the defensive end is unbelievable. Al Horford can't play defense. He's not a stiff, but he's not a defensive guy. I mean, he's an undersized power forward center. He'll put his body in front of you. He'll block a shot occasionally. Rudy Gobert going to dominate on the defensive end.
But when we talk about the NBA and the big man position shooting three, certainly Horford has extended his range.
I say skill-wise, set-wise, offensively, yeah. Because Horford's a guy that can get you 4 or 5 assists a game.
No doubt, like playmaking.
Yeah, so he's got that type of ability.
Final one on cosign or decline. Rajon Rondo will be in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done.
Give that to me. I'm going to say...
You want me to give you his stats first, though?
No, I'm going to decline.
Oh, Rondo! 4-time All-Star, 3-time assist champ, 4-time All-Defensive Team, steals title, and he won an NBA title.
Yeah, I'm going to think he's close.
That's a pretty good
couple
resume, though.
years,
I want you to hear a resume. That's a pretty good resume.
It's a strong resume.
Close to double-digit assists, right, for his career?
For his career?
Yeah. Should be close.
It should be close. Let me check it out. Assists for is 9.6.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's 10 assists a game.
It'll be tough, but I don't think he can make it.
And why not? What's just because he steals and assists is not good enough?
I believe his era is going to hurt him. This point guard era that we on right now, and we've got some good ones. So I just think, everybody doesn't make the Hall of Fame. I just think he's not going to make it. I think, you got to think of the new age point guards they're going to get in before him. And, I put the Steph Currys, the Westbrooks, the Damian Lillards.
CP3?
Well, CP3 is more of a traditional point guard. I put him more CP3 kind of.
Okay.
Jason
But you
Kidd.
talking about the scoring guards
the
nowadays?
scoring guards,
Okay.
all those guys. You you got to put in this category that are going to make it to the Hall of Fame. The John Walls of the world. It's going to be tough, but he's going to have some credentials. He's going to have some stats. He don't got.
Telling me
If he get one more ring,
one more ring, or a couple of deep playoff runs.
It kind of reminds me of when we argued about Dwight Howard. It's like, man, they like right there. It's like hard to say that they're not gonna make it.
right?
I don't think playoff runs matters for Rondo because I think the individual number. I think people are gonna know the impact that he had, especially in those Boston years. And I think that's all. People gonna give him credit for is when he plays with the big three. I don't think he's going to get any credit because he led the league in assists with Sacramento, one of the worst teams in the league. So I just don't think he's going to get that consideration. I think he'll be well respected. I think Rajon Rondo will be a head coach in the NBA because of the stats and numbers that you said and how good he was as a point guard, and how every team that he went through, people are going to know his basketball IQ was out the roof. And most point guards are usually the ones that get the NBA head coaching jobs. So I believe he'll get that, but I do not believe that he's going to be
Hall of Famer. That's a
Hall
tough
of
one.
Famer. It's a tough one. That's a great one.
No
I gotta
doubt.
give you kudos on that one. That was a great one right there.
That does it for the Southside Heat. You know where to find us. Subscribe on the podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. We hope to see you right back here next week.